Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. It is I, Folksy, someone you might know as a shitter Game & Watch playing idiot who goes to Super Smash Bros. Tournaments and complains a lot. So, all of this is true, so I've decided to take that talent for complaining and put it into something a little more productive for myself. I've started a sort of series of music reviews, and that is what this channel is going to be continuing in the direction of until I guess just sort of get burnt out of it. Hopefully that won't ever happen, but considering the upload schedule on this channel, that will be sort of up in the air for now. However, starting off this sort of music reviewing arc of this channel, we have the new 2022 album, Sinderella by Mori Calliope. So Mori Calliope, or Callie for short, is a Japanese-based singer-songwriter, rapper, and VTuber. That's right, we got some anime for us today, boys. Mori broke out in the early months of 2022 with her first project, Unalive. Now, Unalive was met with a large amount of criticism due to being generally poorly mixed, overproduced, and having very lacking lyrics and a large amount of auto-tune. Every single bit of criticism of this album has not been addressed at all in this new album. Every song is just as overproduced, the auto-tune is just as bad, it is just still as horribly mixed as the previous album, and Mori now is coming in with a new chip on her shoulder due to the large amount of criticism her previous album had. She is coming in even more arrogant, even more annoying, and even more of this me versus the world, everyone is out to get me mentality. Getting started on with the track list, we have the opener, Taste of Death. Taste of Death features some very, very poor auto-tune, along with a tackily put-together beat that you would expect over one of BTS's early albums. The song also shows a very persistent flaw of this entire album, that being that, ironically, considering the nature of Callie as a character, the voice that she uses for this entire album is so artificial and processed that it doesn't even sound like a real human. It sounds like there is a robot singing and rapping into my ears. The following track, Wanted Wasted, perfectly displays how overproduced this entire album is. In this song, Callie is making a massive anthemic, almost an anime opening to something like Attack on Titan, and whilst these kinds of songs are not bad per se, putting this on what is described as a hip-hop album by a rapper seems very heavily out of place. And whilst I'm not against pulling from other genres for a rap album or any other album, it's so jarring and has such a non-existent level of hip-hop that it kind of hits you like a brick wall when you get to it, because there's really no rapping featured in this song, and it's just entirely this big anthem. And whilst anthemic songs are not necessarily terrible, this song is put together so shittily, is so awfully produced, and is so horribly mixed that I can't help but just sit back in my chair and let these sounds just kind of like meld into my ears. The third track of this album is actually a pretty rare high point in the album with the track I'm Greedy. This track is a rage trap banger where Callie pulls from the inspirations of perhaps a Playboi Carti or a Ken Carson to make a low-key sort of just flexing track that honestly is not too terrible. The lyricism has a little bit to be desired, with the jarring line in the chorus of "I love cheese." Now I understand that this means that cheese is another word for money. However, with the kind of music that we're going with here, and the fact that this line is so like repeated and almost emphasized within the chorus, it's just it made me laugh every time. However, all that being said, lyrics in a song like this is not really like the focal point. It's more of just an ignorant trap banger, and in that vein, it's not terrible. It's actually one of the few listenable songs on this album. While the last track in this song list was a rare high point for the album, The praises do not continue. We follow up that track with Internet Brain Rot, which is likely the worst song on this entire album. This song honestly has a very fitting name because it makes me have brain rot every time I listen to it. This is a song where Callie is addressing her haters. Now, you're probably wondering why she is addressing her haters in an album like this, where the last album had a lot of very fair criticism towards the production that so far has not even been remotely addressed, and why she's so vehemently going at the people who are speaking illy of her. This song is unbearably annoying. Instead of addressing any of the legitimate criticism lobbed at both her music and VTubing career, she instead decides to take the route of, ooh, I'm offending you, na boo boo. You're getting offended. You're triggered, snowflake. Like, it really just sounds like like Tom McDonald, but for somehow an audience of bigger incels. It's ear-piercingly annoying. It sounds like if you gave a 10-year-old child, like, a massive following on Twitter and told him to make a song addressing the haters. It's terrible. There's not even a single redeemable thing about this song. The beat is not good either. It's this tacky, like, clown world beat. It's so bad. Nezumi's Scheme features an electro swing style rap beat, which is something that is a considerable theme of Callie's music. She started, I don't know if started is the correct word, but certainly made a large brand out of this electro swing style beat and rapping over it. It was a frequent thing you would see in the previous album. Unfortunately, she does not really use this beat very well, instead uses it to rap fast over a few verses, and then transition into the same style of anime OP chorus you would see throughout this entire album. However, this one is even worse than most of these other ones because while the beat breaks down through the later part of the post-chorus, it breaks down to this long 808 with very low-key, just some snares and hi-hats over it, while she transitions from really high-pitched notes over and over again, and it just sounds really, really terrible. Not really much else to say about this track. Another serious flaw that plagues this album is the key shifts in the final chorus of songs. This happens at least 4 times throughout the album and really solidifies that this album is filled with songs that are cookie cutter, low effort, filling in just a template, almost like a Mad Lib style, making songs that are just they sound like your typical anime opening song that most of her fan base is probably their only exposure to music anyway. Soul Food is another low point of the album and is probably tied with Internet Brain Rot for the worst song on this entire album. This song features another electro swing style instrumental with some of the most annoying and ear-piercing phrases in the entire album. This chorus is absolutely terrible. The I'm starving is legitimately one of the most annoying things I've heard on this entire album, and that is saying a lot. This song also features these periods of extremely pitch shift gibberish that it's just extremely annoying. Near the end of the track, it devolves into this, once again, another kind of beat breakdown where all the electro swing elements are gone and it is just an 808 and drums, which, kind of defeats the purpose of having this unique style if you're just going to get rid of it at the end of the song anyway. But this doesn't even get any better because now that you can highlight the supposed rapping, she just goes into this Mac Lethal, Luke Gone, lyrical, miracle, spherical, individual. It's just terrible. Like, legitimately, these lyrics are awful. There's no meaning behind any of it. It's just saying words fast. And it's just terrible. The next song in this album is titled Cringecore, and it's about a new genre that is mid as hell, titled Cringecore. That's really all I need to say about the track. Moving on. Another decent note on this album is Dance Past Midnight, the only song on the album which has a feature, oddly enough. In this song, Callie is featuring a fellow VTuber by the name of Emma Lee, I believe it is, Emma Lee. This is another basic anthemic song with some basic melodies. Once again, an overproduced as fuck instrumental. And also the voices are once again barely distinguishable through the entire song because of the terrible mixing and over processing of the vocals. Sometimes it's so hard to even tell who is singing. That being said, it's a little bit catchy comparatively to some of the rest of the songs. It at least somewhat can sound a little better. I got the melody stuck in my head a little bit, which is pretty high praises considering the kinds of songs we've had so far. The next track, Death Sentence, makes me wish I could be given the death sentence with how awful it is. It features the worst auto-tune on the entire album, by far, and completely deviates from the rest of the album. This is some kind of EDM Monster Cat song that I would be listening to when I was 13, combined with some of the worst of the previous It's Okay to Cry albums. The final track, Glass Slipper, features a basic 2000s pop beat and style with some basic fast rap bars throughout, talking about wanting to go back to the way it used to be, interjected by a similarly basic ass chorus. Yeah, overall, this album from front to back is just an absolute chore to get through. Every single song has some sort of innate flaw with it. It's extremely overproduced. The mixing is terrible. Every vocal is so processed that you can't even tell that there's a human singing them to begin with. Keep in mind, all of these flaws were persistent in the last album, too. So she is not taking the criticism either from her previous mistakes and applying them to new records. She is instead putting out the exact same project over and over again. But this time, she somehow manages to pack it with even more arrogant and annoying lyrics. Yeah, I'm feeling a 1 on this one. Yeah. So, I kind of just wanted to interject at the very end and say that this is the direction I plan on taking the channel for the foreseeable future. I want to be doing more music review stuff on this channel, having more of a formatted style of content, whilst putting maybe stream highlights and VODs on a second channel. That being said, in the description you can follow my Twitch. I'll be trying to stream on there more, play a lot of low-key single-player games like Factorio, and talk to chat a lot. It's pretty chill, listen to some music. I might start taking viewer submissions on music, not really sure. My other socials will also be in the description of the video. So with that being said, have a good one. Bye-bye.